Hello, and welcome to the Lessons from the Bench podcast. I am your host, Willinette Drayton, and I am so elated to be with you on today. Let's get into the episode, shall we? Hello, and welcome to the Lessons from the Bench podcast. I am your host, Willinette Drayton, and I am so elated to be here with you on today. Hey everyone, how are you doing? How is everyone doing? Oh my goodness, it has been a week. It has been a week, and your girl is tired. Your girl is tired. Oh my goodness. I pray that everyone's doing well though. I know I sound rough today because I was over the weekend celebrating with the Commanders. You guys know I love football, and I was celebrating with the Commanders, that home win, that Hail Mary that ended the game, touchdown. Oh my goodness, I was ballistic. I went a little wild and I was screaming to the top of my lungs. And after it happened and I noticed that I was screaming, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to record. I have to record. My voice isn't going to be right. And sure enough, I've been hoarse since that day. And I'm trying to get my voice back. But hey, we're moving forward. We're going to move forward with this raspiness that's going on. So excuse me while I try to work on that. Today's episode, I wanted to just share what's going on with the girl, what's going on with me. I'm always transparent here on the podcast, but there are a couple of things that I wanted to share today because I want you to know where I am, right? And so, in addition to a week being a week for me, mentally draining, and my body feeling really tired. And so I am tired. I'm not feeling my best, right? And so I had this thought that came up in my mind, I'm already not feeling well and I'm tired and all the things going on. Life is lifing, life is lifing. There's a lot going on in my life. And I'm not going to, sit here and get on a podcast and pour out and bleed, on you guys and put a lot on you, But I will share. I'm going to share because I said that I want to be transparent with you. And oh my goodness, the thought came to my mind to, not record. And it went something like this. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to record anyway because nobody's checking. Nobody's checking for you. Nobody's going to know that nobody's going to know. Nobody's checking for you. And so, I toyed with that thought like, wow, I could probably not, put anything out on a Tuesday at 5 p.m. because nobody's really looking. I mean, I give the call to action when I do post to say, hey, did you check this out or listen? But who's going to know? And I had to have a conversation with myself and I had to silence that track. I had to shut that down immediately. Shut it down immediately because there's no giving up over here. I can simply not give up, and I can't make an excuse not to record, not to upload, not to be consistent because I'm not feeling well, or because I sound like a frog, or just because, I've been dealing with a lot of stress, myself. And I cannot give up. I cannot let all the things that are happening around me dictate whether or not I'm going to have forward progress. I refuse to give up now. I refuse to give up now. I simply refuse to give up now. I remember having those thoughts in my head of, nobody's checking for you, especially when it came down to, the God department. Nobody's checking for you. Ain't nobody calling you. Nobody wants to take you out, things like that. I would think, oh my gosh, I don't have a date, and, just would beat myself up for, not being in a relationship, especially around the holiday times. It's getting cold outside. It's cuffing season. Nobody's checking for me. I used to feel bad about that. I'm not that girl anymore. And definitely, I'm not going to discredit myself when it comes down to the podcast. I see people are listening. When I first started the podcast, I didn't want to be that person who creates content, who is constantly, watching the numbers. In fact, God told me this second time around when I came back to the podcast after heavily procrastinating and putting it off, when I returned back to the podcast platform, he told me not to pay attention to the numbers. And I'm glad that God had that conversation with me because, I can be in my head sometimes about things, and knowing my track record, knowing where I come from, I would see something not going in the direction that I wanted to go in, and at the speed of of time that I would like to be able to reach a point. I would just give up. I'd give up if other people didn't approve. I'd give up if someone didn't say it was good, or I would give up if you simply just didn't like it, or nobody's looking, I'll disappear. No way. I am not that girl anymore. So I had to have a conversation with myself. Girl, get it together. You will not quit in this season. You will not quit in this season. No, you don't feel your best, but guess what? You're going to keep going. No. Yes, you have a lot going on. Yes, you have bills out the wazoo. Yes. All the things, and you're playing from behind, and you're trying to catch up. And, yes, life is happening around you. But you have to keep going, Willinette, you got to keep going. And my message to you, whoever you are listening, wherever you are listening from, you have to keep going. We're not going to give up on ourselves ever again. Ever again. Do not give up on yourself. Do not forfeit your dream. Do not forfeit your dream. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up. Do not. Keep pressing. Keep pressing. Keep pressing. Keep pressing. Keep pressing. Keep pressing on. Do not give up. Do not. There is so much at stake, because it's not just about you. It's not just about you. This podcast, I know it's not just about me. It's, oh my goodness, it's not just about me. It's about the people who will be blessed by it. I simply don't know everyone that is listening. People are listening to this podcast. They listen to the episodes every week, but they're not saying anything. Like, I can see where you're listening from, your state, your city. I can see where you're listening from in America. I can see what device that you are listening on. But very few people will say, hey, this was, good episode. They won't share what they, gained from the episode. Like it, love it. Not saying anything, but I know that you're there. So I cannot, stop going because no one's saying good job. I can't. I can't stop because I don't have people saying, hey, you're doing a good job. I can't stop because my family members aren't listening to the podcast, or some friends aren't listening to the podcast, or even associates, people that I've shared it with who haven't even downloaded one episode. I cannot stop because these things aren't taking place. I have to keep going. You have to keep going. You've created something. You are a creator. You're a content creator, whatever it is that you're working on. If you're starting a business, and I don't care what it is you've starting. I don't care if it's a t-shirt that you're selling and no one has bought your t-shirt yet, not even a family member. You have to keep going. You keep showing up. You keep showing up in the lane that you're in, because God is going to bring you before the people who are there to glean from you, for the people who are there that you are going to bless. You're going to meet them at the right time. Your listener is coming. Your listener is coming. My listener is coming. My listeners are coming. People are listening, but my listeners are coming. Thank you for the ones who have took the time out to listen to this episode. All of the episodes, if you're catching up on the episodes, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. But I know that God has placed me on this earth to bless someone. And if it's just one person, thank you. I am here to serve. I'm really here to serve. Yes, I believe that the podcast will do very well. I believe that, the podcast will do so well, where I'm able to monetize. Yes, I believe I will be monetized. I believe I will be making money from this platform. However, I'm not going to get caught up in the numbers on today. On today, it's not about the numbers. It's not about how many followers. I want to be a blessing, and that has to be, in the forefront of my mind, to be a blessing. And so I can't give up. I can't give up. You've written a book. And unfortunately, this is the saddest thing, I think. And the reason why it doesn't bother me as bad is because I know who Jesus is, right? I know that Jesus was not even accepted in his town. They did not accept Jesus in his town, his folk, his kinfolk, the people he was around, where he was from. They was like, man, they didn't want to follow him. They wasn't listening to what he was putting down. They just weren't, And, don't expect the people that are around you to be excited, for you when you pivot, when you start to do something different, when you create something, when you make that body mask and and you got the scrubs going on and you're selling your products. Don't expect, the people around you to be jumping up and down. For some reason, you're just not accepted, in front of your kinfolk, the folk Yeah. It's a wild thing. It's really a wild thing. You would think like, wow, I know these people. I've been here for a while and I'm sure to get some sales over here because, they know me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Write that book and see how many of them will, participate in what you're doing that will, help promote and help push your agenda. Please, please. So definitely do not be in your head when, when your family members, when, they don't support you the way that you would expect them to. Just know that they didn't accept Jesus in his hometown. So hey, because of that, I know that I have my own cross to bear. I have my own cross to bear. And I'm going to pick up my cross and I'm going to walk. Yeah, I'm not going to lay down in this season. I'm not going to give up because I remember giving up. I remember giving up. This is why this podcast is just starting and I'm pushing forward, and I'm moving in the right direction and I'm learning to be consistent because I know what it was when I wasn't consistent. I know what it looks like to not, keep going, to stop and, pick it up and put it back down. And you may have, like I've been talking about a book. I don't know why I keep speaking about a book. Someone's writing a book. Anybody writing a book out there that's listening to this podcast and you're just all up in your head about people not buying your product? Oh my goodness. Someone's going to buy it. Someone is going to be blessed by what it is that you're producing, and you will have a book signing. You'll have a book signing. It will be successful. Yes, yes, yes. And you're going to see a lot of people come out that you didn't even expect to come out. Your supporters are coming from different places, all walks of life. People are going to, pick up on what you're putting down. Yeah, just create, just continue to create. Focus on your content, focus on coming from a pure place, and having some substance, having something that is meaty to give out into the world. And do take care of yourself. I am in that place where I know that if I'm pouring out, I have to be able to put something back in. So I am on this self-care journey. I want to continue to be diligent in the things that I put into my body. I'm making better decisions in my food choices. And now I know that I have to incorporate exercise. I am very tired when I get off from work, but I know that now I have to incorporate exercise, and that exercise may help me when it comes down to relieving stress. I've heard that it's a stress reliever, but I've never looked at exercise as being a stress reliever. In fact, just to do it, I have to be in a good mental place to even make myself move. So for me, oh my goodness, it's just going to have to be making a wise choice, make better choices for myself. And I want to see where this goes. I want to see where this goes. Where are you taking me, Lord, with this podcast? I know that I haven't been diligent in promoting the podcast, so I need to find out all the things that I need to do in order to be successful in the promotion of the podcast. I know I started out as a solo podcast host. Yes, it's just me here talking and sharing from the lessons from the bench. But I would like to move into more of the conversational ones, like, doing more interviews, having guests on, allowing them to share, because I know a lot of amazing people. Again, I know a lot of amazing people, but I don't know if the people that I reach out to are going to be willing to come on to the podcast and actually share, who want to be transparent, who would like to be a part of this. So I have to pray about that. Lord, who are these people? Direct me to the people that you would like to sit with me and to have these conversations with. So I am in prayer about that. So a lot is going on behind the scenes, and I know that it's time for me to pivot, and I cannot quit now. I can't quit now, not because I'm tired, not because I feel a little weary, and just tired in my body, but I have to keep pushing. I have to keep pushing. And that's the message on today, to keep pushing, keep pushing. And when that tape recorder comes on again with those negative thoughts, your old way of thinking, sometimes we are on these journeys and for transformation, and we're going in the right direction. But sometimes we have to know who we are in trouble. We have to know who we are when we're not feeling well. Are you that person who, you don't feel well, you just want to disappear for a couple of months and, to get yourself together, but you're called to something? No, you're called to something. And, we just don't have that time anymore to check out for 3 months. Like, oh my goodness, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't check out for 3 months and say, hey, I'm back. I can't do that again. No. That's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Now, when God has called me to speak and to deposit into other people, I want to be a blessing, and I want to be obedient. Above all, be obedient. If God is giving you something and telling you to do something, be obedient. Be obedient. Walk with God. Walk with God. Walk with God. Please be obedient to the voice of the Lord, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like. Because sometimes you're not going to feel like it. Sometimes you're not going to feel like it. Sometimes you will not feel like going, but you have to keep moving. You have to keep pressing forward, going forward. You have to do it, and you have to have that conversation with yourself. Not today. You have to tell the devil, not today. Oh no, not today, devil. You will not get in my head. I'm not going to play that tape recorder. Because what you're producing today, even if no one even bought anything this year, we're in the last quarter of the year. I don't know your forecast, but what if no one even did anything this year? Like, are you going to beat yourself up? Are you going to stop producing because you didn't end at a certain spot where you wanted to be in this quarter? We're going to keep pushing, but what if we don't get the numbers and get, see the fruitfulness right away? But just know it's going to happen. It is going to happen one day. I'm going to wake up and have followers. Like, I have followers now, but I'm going to have I'm going to be like, who are all these people? Oh my goodness. Hey, I've been praying for you guys, I've been believing God. I knew that you were coming. Welcome, and so I'm saying welcome now. I'm saying welcome now. I'm saying give now from a pure place. I'm saying love now, give now, keep it going. Just as if you had 100,000 followers, if you only have 10 followers, treat them as the 100,000 followers that you aspire to have. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. People are going to buy your book. You will be a bestseller. Yes, you will. You will be a bestseller. Trust me. I'm telling you. Believe in God. Believe in yourself. Believe in the God that lives inside of you. Hey, you're not alone. You are simply not alone. Hey, you're not alone. I am in your boat. I am in your boat. Jesus is in your boat. God loves you. God loves you. He did not give up on you. God, he loves you. Oh my goodness, he's deposited so much into you. You are fearful and wonderfully made by God. He placed these dreams, these aspirations inside of you. Oh my goodness. And you know that it's a God thing. It's not even you. You'd rather not even do it. Like for me, I was very shy and found out that I'm an ambivert. But for real, for real, for real. Really, I am comfortable being outside of the limelight. Like, I don't even want the mic. I don't want the camera. Oh my goodness. But God is pushing me forward in this direction. So I cannot quit. Like, I just can't quit. I'm like, Lord, I'm used to playing the background, but I'm used to playing small. See, that's the thing. I'm used to playing small. I'm used to, not saying something that is brilliant because I don't want other people to look at me and say, oh, she thinks she's all that. See, yeah, I was that person. I'm used to that. I'm used to dumbing myself down in certain rooms because I just didn't want it to shine, or trying to dim my light because, I don't want people to look at me a certain way, or I don't want people to feel uncomfortable around me. And oh my goodness, I am not doing that anymore. Not anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. You are going to get all of this awesomeness that God has given me. It is because of him. It is nothing that I've done. No, it's not me. It's the God in me. If you think that I'm awesome, it's the God in me. If you think that I am amazing, no, I am not amazing. It is the God in me. It is God. It is God. And I pray that when you have any encounter with me, that the love of God rubs off on you. Yeah, I want more of him. I want more of him so that I can exude more of him, so that I can have a good fragrance. Oh my goodness, just like Jesus. Do you want to be like Jesus on today? Do you want to smell like him? Do you want to look like, people look at you and they just know there's something about her. There is something. I just can't put my finger on it, but there is something about her. You're special. She's a chosen one. Yeah. So I don't want to be pretending out here to, have it all together. I don't want to pretend that I'm a holy roller. I'm a Christian. I sin daily. I'm sure I've looked at something or said something that I was not supposed to do or say, and I'm going to repent and ask God for forgiveness, and we're going to try this thing another day. I am not perfect. But I'm striving to be the best version of a Christian. God has been so good to me. God has been so good to me. He's been so good to me, and I just want to live right before him. I want to live like something in the eyes of God. I'm not trying to make something appear to be what it's not. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not hiding. I don't have anything to hide. I'm not, doing anything that I shouldn't be doing, trying to, pretend to make people think that I'm a certain way, because sometimes we can put on certain airs to make people think we're this and we're that. No, I'm just me. I am just me. I am me, and I'm gonna be me, and I'm feeling comfortable in my own skin now. I'm taking this 200 some odd pounds. Listen, 200 some odd pounds. I'm taking it, and I'm gonna work with what I have. I'm gonna work with what I have. Work with what I have, what God has given me. And if there's some things that I need to learn in this season, especially when it comes down to podcasting, especially when it comes down to the monetization, especially when it comes down to marketing and all the things that's going to come in this podcast world that I am new to, I'm going to have to learn now. I'm going to have to learn how to do it. So I'm praying that God sends the right person, send the right people, in my direction, and open my eyes to be open to see who it is that will be with me to help push this thing forward. I know that I'm not going to be able to do this alone, not totally alone, but so I'm just praying for God to help me with that. But no, we're not putting on airs. No, we're not pretending to be what we're not over here. Yeah, I am a beginner. Yeah, I'm learning. Yeah, all of that. So stop counting yourself out in your humble beginnings. This right here, it's not going to always be like this. Yeah, these are my humble beginnings. I'm going to look back at this and say, wow, I remember recording, on my Rodecaster Pro, on my little tiny desk. I remember that. I remember my little microphone setup situation I had going on, and now I have a full-blown studio. Yeah, I'll have a full-blown podcast studio. I'm gonna have my own studio. Hello, I'm gonna say this again. I will have my own studio where I will be podcasting from. I will have my own studio. I will have my own show. Yeah, I'm going to say this again. I will have my own studio, and I will have my own show. Will be audio and video. So not just audio. You will see a video broadcast, and yeah, I will have my own show. So yeah, I'm going to say that one more time. I'm going to say it one more time. I will have my own show. I will have my own studio, and I will have my own show, and you guys will be able to see me. Yeah. How about that? How about that? I put it out there. It's not a secret anymore. It is going to happen. You will hear about it. Stay tuned. I said it. So what it is that you need to declare on today? Are you going to declare anything? Yeah. What do you see? What do you see? I see that. I see my studio. I know pretty much how I envision it being set up. I already know some things about what it looks like. I've seen it before. I've seen it. 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 I know what it looks like. I know the elements. I kind of know how I want it to look. I know how I want it to look. And I know some of the people that I want to interview. I do know that. And in fact, I've already made a list of people that I want to interview. And I'm praying that God would touch the hearts of men. Hey, that God would touch the hearts of men. And for these people to be open, to interview. Some people don't want to come on and share what they've gone through, the things that they've overcome. So I pray that the people who I have on my heart to share and who I want to bring to my listeners, that I think that will, oh my goodness, makes for some amazing, amazing content, some amazing nuggets that will be dropped. I pray that they will be open to coming on and sharing. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Y'all, I'm not giving up. I am not giving up. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that I heard what I heard. Hey, no one's listening. No one's checking for you. You don't have to record. What? Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh my goodness. If they don't listen today, they'll listen next week. They'll listen a month from now. I'm recording this. This is going to be up for many years to come. My grandchildren will hear this podcast. My grandchildren will hear this episode. And baby, you better keep going. Oh my goodness. I'll be telling my grandkids about this. Hey baby, grandma got this podcast. Listen to grandma's podcast. Listen to Nana's podcast. Yeah. My grandchildren will be listening to this podcast. Please not record. Please. I'm going to keep going. I am going to keep going. I am going to keep encouraging every one of you to keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. If you have any negative thoughts, any negative doubts, if that old you tries to creep back in, you tell him, you tell her, sit back down. Not today. We are not doing that. We are going forward. I am betting on myself. I'm betting on myself. I'm going to stop lying to myself. I am going to be consistent because I love myself. I'm fighting for my dreams. I am fighting for happiness. I am fighting for my new life. So you keep going forward, okay? And have that conversation with yourself. Sometimes you got to talk to yourself. Yeah. Ooh-wee. Hey guys, I want you to have an amazing day. Have an amazing day. Share this episode with someone, and do come back for more lessons from the bench.